We've just passed the red line.
Okay, excellent. So what's the score going to be today?
Good afternoon, and today we're at the Championship fixture as Watford take on Sunderland at Vicarage Road, EFL Championship. And today it's going to be a tough test. You know, Sunderland are a good side, got a great win against Reading in midweek, and scored a fantastic goal through Jack Clark for the third one. So they've got some good players. You know, experienced manager in Tony Mowbray. His time at Blackburn was okay. And, you know, Sunderland have got a few good players. Your likes of, you know, in midfield, Jack Clark, but also Pritchard. And I think the one man I'm going to be worried about in that Sunderland team is probably the midfield, because we're getting overrun in that part of the field. Against Blackburn we were really poor, so we need to sort that out and really get at this Sunderland team that have got threats like Patrick Roberts. You know, that's going to be a difficult one to stop. So hoping we can get the victory today, but there's got to be a massive improvement from the performance. Prediction: Watford 1, Sunderland 0. Only goal, João Pedro on the 83rd minute, but we do need this win, especially going into the international break. So come on, you Horns.
Everybody connected to Watford Football Club was truly saddened to learn of the passing of Her late Majesty, the Queen Elizabeth II, at the age of 96. Over a 70-year reign, Her late Majesty served the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth with distinction. The thoughts of everybody at Watford Football Club are with the royal family at this sad time. In a moment, we will ask you to join us in observing a minute's silence, but first, His Majesty's Lord Lieutenant of Hertfordshire, Robert Voss CVE, will lay a wreath in memory of Queen Elizabeth II, accompanied pitchside by Rita Taylor and Karen Colley, representing the family of the late Graham Taylor OBE, as well as Luther Blissett OBE DL. Please now join us in observing a minute's silence, which will start on the referee's whistle. Upon the end of the silence, we then invite you to join in with the national anthem. your Golden Boys side today. In goal, number 1, Daniel Blackburn.
Hey!
4, Hamza Chowdhury.
Hey!
5, William Trustor.
Hey!
It's a first start for number 7.
Get in! Hey! Hey!
12, Ken Sema.
Hey!
14, Hassan Kamara.
Hey!
15, and captain Craig Cathcart.
Hey!
18, Yasser Spria.
Hey!
13, Courtney Hall.
Hey!
And 39, Edo Keinan.
Hey! Come on, you Horns! Let's get the 3 points! Go on, Hassan. Go on. Well done, Pedro. Hamza. Nice. We support the Hornets, the Hornets, the Hornets. That's the way we like it. We like it. We like it. Whoa! Watford! Watford! Yellow on me! Yellow on me! Yellow on me! Go on, Joao Pedro, you little beauty! Oh! Oh! Go on! Go on, Espria. And again, and again. Go on. Yeah! Offside, offside. So unlucky. Come on, Joao, better delivery this time, please. And again, and again. Oh, so lucky. Come on, you all.
And replace number 21, Alex Pritchard. Is number 17, Abdullah Bar.
Will Cathcart be able to carry on? That's the question. Looked like he pulled his hammy, but we will see.
thought keeping the ball moving, but that one.
Oh, that could deflect it horribly. Watford get it right, get a foot in now.
Thank goodness for that. And Cathcart is back on. What a trooper. Well, it's finished here, 2-2. We didn't really deserve to win that, so I guess it's a fair result, but frustrating. Pegged back twice. It's finished at Vicarage Road. Watford 2, Sunderland 2. Sunderland goal scorers, Aji Elise and Jewison Bennett. Watford goal scorers, Keinan Davis and a Luke O'Nien own goal. Luke O'Nien, funnily enough, a former Watford player, but ultimately, very disappointing day out for the Hornets at Vicarage Road, and we lost against QPR, we drew against the Black Cats, Sunderland, and to be honest, that was a fair result in my eyes because Watford didn't do well enough to get the 3 points. As much as they were leading, and it's very frustrating to be leading on 2 occasions.
There is traffic congestion on A411 with a delay of 9 minutes due to queuing traffic.
It's all right, I don't mind about it. Yeah, there was a delay. No, I've just talked about what the... Anyway, the point is, we were leading twice and we got pegged back, and that's frustrating to see. But the most frustrating thing for me is we're at the home side. We shouldn't be getting dominated all the time, and ultimately, we're letting Sunderland dictate us, and there was that spell in the second half where they were just flooding our attack, flooding our defence, waves and waves of attack, and it was just a matter of time. The writing was on the wall for that Sunderland second goal. So we start off the first goal of the game in a very kind of slow first half. It was very, very poor from Watford from their point of view because, you know, nothing much was going on. Sunderland not really having any chances, but as always, Watford, you make me so frustrated when you play it from the back and invite pressure, and Sunderland did put us under pressure a few times. Backman had to kind of play it around and see it out, but, you know, easily could have been, you know, a mistake waiting to happen. But then Watford grabbed their goal, and it's a first Watford goal for Keinan Davis, who I thought was by far man of the match today. Superb in his striking plays, a classic, you know, striker that we need. You know, he's not number 9, he's in the number 7 shirt, but look, he fits that role because he is fantastic at holding up the ball and bringing other players into the game, wrestling his defending opponents off him, and just kind of constructing a bit of substance in our attack. You know, whenever we get the ball, we look very disjointed, but he brings it together. He's the glue that sticks it together. So he was superb today and deserved his goal for all his hard work. And really, it was getting desperate at times in the opening kind of minutes where Watford didn't have a plan B and they were just lumping it up to Davis each time. But eventually, Watford started to get kind of their wing-backs into the game and their midfield, connecting to the rest of the team. And then Watford get that gut breakthrough, and it's a really nice pass. I'm not quite sure who it was. It might have been Edu Kayembe, and we'll go on to talk about Kayembe in a second, but whoever it was, a midfield kind of diagonal crossfield ball, switching the play, which, to be honest, is not what we did a lot of in the game, so we need to do more of that. But of course, we are missing Imran Loser, and he really gives that kind of link and ability to progress up the pitch, actually stop passing sideways and staying stagnant, but actually, you know, really switching the play and showing that kind of look up, that creativity to kind of build an attack. But it was a good ball nonetheless, really clever inside the fullback, and then in comes Hassan Kamara, who, you know, I think had a pretty good game today. He was getting on the end of things, he was trying his hardest for a lot of it, and it's a really good ball in. But the goalkeeper does get a touch to it to kind of divert it away from danger, but not away from Keinan Davis, who is basically there for a tap and he can't miss. But it's good positioning from the striker, and it's good to see him get his first Watford goal. You know, he was calling for a start, really, after some good away performances at Rotherham, and also, you know, good away performance in the game against Blackburn, despite how poor the rest of that Watford side were. So, really happy for him. And you think, yeah, okay, now we can go and take the game to Sunderland. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. And the game was very kind of stop-starty. Watford really struggling to find any sort of rhythm. And then Watford do the unthinkable and concede, well, with minutes of the first half to go. And it's a real kick in the teeth to go in level at half-time. I mean, you know, it's just Edwards should have given them a battering, because to not hold on to that first half lead is really, really disappointing. And the way that we conceded as well, a poor mix-up from Watford's defence. You know, as I say, Sunderland get that goal through the aforementioned striker, defender, I should say, that I mentioned at the start. So, look, it was a frustrating goal to concede, but a very, very sloppy piece of play from Watford. And, you know, it was one of those things, when it happens in real time, you think, oh, it's not a goal. But unfortunately, the shot did cross the line. It must have been Hawkeye that, you know, gave the goal line technology the all clear, and it got given. So that was just so frustrating, because we never really wrestled control in that first half, and we surrender a lead that we really shouldn't have given up. So half time, you think, okay, we've got to now crank it up a pressure, because we were definitely not going to get anything that we want from the game if we carry on that kind of lethargic, slow performance. I mean, that first half was really, really poor. Second half comes around, and Watford, you managed to make it worse. You managed to make it worse. I mean, the performance was just so slow, and I don't know why, but Watford giving away the ball time and time and time again, and then not winning it back. I mean, let's talk about him now. Edu Kayembe had probably, most definitely, in my opinion, his worst Watford game in his career, because he just gave away the ball so many times, and honestly just didn't even put in challenges. When there was balls being, you know, whipped in from Sunderland and in aerial duels to battle, Kayembe just stood and watched. I mean, you've got to kind of compete in the header. You've got to throw yourself about and make yourself known. But he was just so passive. And when he was on the ball, it was just so sloppy from him. He was giving away the ball all the time. And somehow, Watford do get a goal to go in front. And, you know, it's an own goal from Luke O'Nien. Very, very fortuitous for Watford. But ultimately, from that point on, you think, okay, we've been given an absolute, you know, golden ticket now. We've got to take that and actually control the game from there on, all right? Sunderland, they actually played quite well in that second half, but that doesn't mean that we should let that overcome us, because, all right, you can withstand a bit of pressure. Every team is going to get pressure in their goal, especially when they're leading, but there's ability to withstand that pressure and then overcome it. As you're the home side, you've got to wrestle back a bit of control and actually create a bit more. But I tell you what, Watford, no creative kind of connectivity, no spark in that attack. I mean, if we talk about the individual performances, Daniel Bachmann, I thought, had a very dodgy game in the first half with his positioning and with his distribution. Second half comes around. I mean, Sunderland, they were looking really threatening in that second half, and Bachmann didn't actually have that many kind of close range saves to make. But, you know, he was just a bit sloppy, and Watford playing out from the back. I mentioned in the first half, actually, there was a really early chance that was unfortunately flagged for offside that could have easily gone in, but it wasn't to be. So, you know, this is the kind of thing with Watford. We take our foot off the pedal and then we don't show a reaction. And ultimately, Sunderland showed much more of a reaction in that second half, maybe from the bounce of going in at a half-time level, but really, it wasn't a best game for Daniel Bachmann. Left back, it's another tricky game in my opinion for Ken Sema. I think in most of the game he was good because he offered a lot of good things going forward, but the problem is defending. You know, he just doesn't have that, you know, defensive nous because he's not suited to that position, and we've got to get Hassan Kamara, in my opinion, back in that left-back spot. I mean, we saw that kind of really happen. When Hassan Kamara got taken off, we see Sema, you know, move around. But it frustrates me how that team is just, you know, right now, it's a lot of makeshift positions and no one really knows their best kind of place. So, I don't know, it's a real kick in the teeth. Centre-back pairing, Ekong, it was a strange one to see him start, but I think he actually was all right. You know, the problem came from Kabasele, unfortunately. He was subbed on after an injury. Cathcart came off, unfortunately. But, oh my word, Kabasele was just not good. And messed up for the goal, really. And he just can't seem to be clinical. Can't seem to be focused when he comes off the bench. And the Sunderland player, unfortunately, was clinical. I mean, it was a good goal. Again, I mentioned the goal scorer at the start of the video, but look, that goal was coming. It was coming for so long. Cathcart, I thought, was okay today. You know, as captain, he was doing fairly well, but obviously came off injured and probably should have been subbed off earlier with that. Looked like pulled his hamstring. So really frustrating. We're just getting injuries like there's no tomorrow this season, and that's really plaguing the squad. But it shows how thin the squad is that we can't have the good enough replacements when these players do get injured. But talking about Hassan Kamara, I thought he was really solid today. I thought he was, you know, obviously he conceded 2 goals, not ideal for that defence, but in terms of what he offers going forward, he's very good. And I think he tracks back as much as he can most of the time. So he gives in a very solid account of himself, I thought. Midfield-wise, Keinan was dreadful. We don't need to talk about him again. But next to him, I thought Chowdhury was okay. You know, he got stuck in. The thing is with Chowdhury, he's very one-dimensional in terms of what he actually offers. And I'm not, you know, discrediting what he does offer. It's a very tough tackler, but he doesn't progress you up the pitch. And we've got 2 kind of very similar players in Keinan and Chowdhury who don't bring you up the pitch. So you're going to basically stay where you are. And that's a lot of what we were doing today. It was very frustrating, playing around the back, not getting anywhere and not really seeing anyone making those runs. And therefore, it just led to us having to hoof it up to Davis all the time. So there was little kind of creativity and little plan of how we'd kind of break down that Sunderland team. And then the wings, I mean, obviously it was a massive blow to see Ismail Assar injured today. We missed him, I think. As little as Sarr has done this season in terms of performances, yes, he's got those kind of key moments and those moments of quality, but, you know, he's not often been superb for 90 minutes. But that pace could have been really good up against Sunderland's fullbacks, and we didn't really see that, to be honest. Pedro out on the right-hand side is an interesting one. I think, ultimately, to accommodate Asprey in that number 10 role, it is good, but I think Pedro did all right today. He was trying his best. It just, sometimes he overplays it, in my opinion, and he just needs to kind of find the pass and look up when there is an option. Asprey, I thought he was very quiet today. I thought he didn't really impact the game enough. I mean, he's got kind of good footwork and, you know, tidy stuff, but it's just unfortunately not enough to carve opening into that Sunderland side. And then we talk about Davis, who I think was man of the match. He just complete striker performance, and it's just a shame he had to go off. I don't know whether he was feeling tired. You know, it's his first kind of full 80 minutes that he's completed, but it's a strange one because as soon as Davis came off, it all fell apart for Watford, really. I mean, Kabasele came on. It was just not ideal. It was not ideal at all. So, look, Watford, a few problems there. I mean, Gosling also came on as well. So, I just feel that we lost our shape when Davis came off, and that was a problem. But ultimately, a good performance from Davis. He can be proud of it. So, yeah, Watford, frustrating today for me. Bayo also came on, who didn't really affect the game, in my opinion, enough. But we go again against, you know, a very interesting, I think it's Swansea, that's the next home game. But we will see. We will see. This is my last match review for a while, but yeah, frustrating to see us pegged back twice, and Watford, you don't learn any lessons, really. So it is what it is. A bit of a stinker today to get pulled back, but we go again, and good to see at least a few goals being scored. Just that defence needs to tighten up. But I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.